So I don't know how old you have to be to officially be considered a cougar, but I recently had an experience with a man who was 10 years my junior, and I think that officially makes me a cougar, or at least puts me on the list. Like, I've at least filled out my application for Cougar Town, USA. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I learned during this experience that I think will be helpful for you if you also are interested in sleeping with women who are a little bit older than you are, or a lot of it. There are so many good reasons for you to consider sleeping with older women. They have more experience, they know more about what they want, they're gonna know more about their bodies, they're gonna be hopefully a lot easier to communicate with. Maybe they have a little bit more power or money or experience or access to cool things than you do. I think that there's just a boatload of good reasons to sleep with older women. Not to mention that, like, even for myself and other women who I know, and I'm not saying that I'm that old. I know I've got a long way to go before I probably even consider myself. Regardless, I think we get less attention. You know, we get a lot of messages from the world that we're not that sexually viable or sexually interesting. And therefore, when we do connect with someone and they do give us that attention and it reminds us that we are still hot and desirable and sexual, a little bit goes a long way. And consider that if you're vying for the interest of women your age or younger, you're competing with a lot of other men your age and younger and older. But if you're looking for the attention of someone who's a little older, she might be getting less attention. Now, you still have to bring your A game. In fact, you have to even bring more of your A game because she knows better. She's not gonna fall for some nonsense. But I think that you may have a better chance of having an amazing sexual experience. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about how. So here are my tips for sleeping with older women. Number one, let her know that you're interested. Again, as I was saying, we get the memo that we're not sexually interesting to people. So what this guy in particular did is I made a comment on him and that he felt like an old soul. And he responded to me by saying, yeah, I'm really interested in older things. I love older cars, older music, and older women. This let me know that he was down. It opened up, and it was such a subtle and gentle way to open up a flirtation between us that I was kind of sensing was there, but those words made it clear and obvious. It was a bit like a green light for me to take that flirting to the next step. Number two, consider power dynamics. This is something that I thought was kind of interesting. So much in masculine and feminine, like heterosexual relating, the masculine person is the person who kind of takes the lead on things, like sets the tone, sets the stage, makes the plan, etc. But when you have someone who's older and someone who's younger, it's often expected that the senior person is going to be taking the lead on things. But as the senior in this dynamic, but also as the feminine person in this dynamic, it took me a second to sort of figure out where in that dance I wanted to be. It was clear for me also because just of the way that we met and the like relationship that we shared inside of that context, that I was sort of the person who needed to take the lead and create the opening for us to continue to flirt and to eventually have physical contact. So consider that. I don't have like a perfect answer for you on like how you do that as the man. I think that you can also take the lead, but just consider that it might feel a little bit different for her because of those sort of power dynamics, and because this isn't a scenario that we often see. There's not like a whole lot of role models for cougars, even though I think there was like a TV show and I think it's becoming more of a thing. Feel free to write in the comments if you have more to say on that. All right, my third tip is to remember that your words create your world. Careful not to say things that you can't back up. Consider how you are flirting and don't promise things. This is good advice for anybody, but definitely do not promise things or try to like talk a big game if you cannot back it up. Just be yourself, be your authentic self. Use words that are real and true for you in the moment, but like understand that if you're like promising a thing together or talking a big game, that she's gonna be more likely to tell. Younger women, probably less so. Older women, we kind of already know. We already know the game. We know what's going on. All right, tip number 4. Remember that just because she's older doesn't mean that she doesn't need the same care, attention, affection, and aftercare as a younger woman does. Don't assume just because she's financially stable or emotionally really grounded or a really good communicator that she doesn't also want you to treat her as you would a girl your age. Like, she still wants the same level of check-in. She still wants for you to be attentive and affirming, and this is one one thing that the guy that I connected with really did well. He was very like tender and caregiving and affirming and affectionate, and I really felt that that created an environment where I felt really safe with him, even though I was still going through the mental gymnastics of like, oh my God, I'm gonna sleep with a younger man. Anyways, that's enough about me. I hope that this information helps you and that you go out there and you give older women who are older than you, it's all relative, the great dicking that they deserve. And I know you do if you are subscribed to this channel. I'm Caitlin B. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you here next week. Bye.